Love is one of the most confusing words we ever know. A man is involved in an adulterous relationship, he calls it love, but the preacher on the other hand calls it sin. The wife of an alcoholic picks up the pieces after his last episode, calls it love, but the psychologist on the other hand calls it codependency. It is hard to believe anything else when you're in love. You just feel you've arrived.
Hello everyone, welcome to Africa Podcast. I'm Meritaye Ebidun, also known as Meriti High. Oh yeah, now come a little closer. Are you still in that toxic relationship just because you feel nobody can love you like the way they do? Or that person that feels ghosted by a friend and you don't want to reach out? Are you depressed in your relationship? Are you lonely? Let's discuss strategies, tips on how to have a better relationship. This is the Relationship Talk Show, and I'm so happy because this is the first episode of the show, and we have a very, very important guest amidst us. And he's a spoken word artist. So let him do the honors.
Okay.
Your name?
I'm excited to be here. My name is Kingsley Extreme, and yes, I'm a performance poet or a spoken word poet, and I'm glad to be the first guest at Meriti I's show, and I'm excited to be here.
We are so happy to have you here.
I'm happy
To have you on our very first episode. So come with us. What do you have for us today?
Okay. All right. So I have a poem on relationship.
Okay.
So to share, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. It all started so nice and rosy. The weather condition was sweet and cozy, smooth sailing. The world wished they could ride with us. It was obvious that we are on a good course. Tick tock, the clock kept ticking, and every moment felt like the very beginning, where every flaw was smiled and walked upon, soaked and drowned in our feelings. Facts were ignored. The pride was that we never had an equal. Was it obvious or it was just what we thought? Paid zero attention to side talks. We were definitely lost in our own world. A crack was underneath. We didn't see the waters coming in, and all of our excitement were gradually turning into wild wind. We were invincible. How can it be that this ship is now sinking? Can somebody wake me up and please tell me that I'm dreaming, because our beautiful dreams are now ugly nightmares, tormenting us in our very eyes as they stared. Our minds were too far away from what we used to share. Talking or even thinking about them was a task too risky. We wouldn't dare, and there we were, silently dying. Our walls too high and they seem unbreakable. I am the man, so she's got to listen. I'm more than a domestic slave, so I deserve better, she reasoned. And now the smoke was not a fire that seemed beyond quenching. She couldn't stand the heat, so she's about to leave the kitchen. And suddenly, wisdom decided to pay me a visit. If I am the man, then I do not need to say it. Responsibilities are mine, so when there's a storm, I must face it.
Yeah.
Maybe we didn't realize that our love languages differ, because I was enveloped by our ego. We're almost delivered. You see, love is one of the most confusing words we ever know. A man is involved in an adulterous relationship, he calls it love, but the preacher on the other hand calls it sin. The wife of an alcoholic picks up the pieces after his last episode, calls it love, but the psychologist on the other hand calls it codependency. It is hard to believe anything else when you're in love. You just feel you've arrived. And that experience is the temporary emotional high, less discipline. We spend long hours on phone calls, spend money traveling and buying gifts. But after a year, sometimes even less or more, will you still be kind and generous? Will your affection still be intact and enormous? Do not take credit for what you do under an obsession, because true love begins after that experience has run its course. So just like poetry is emotions in verse, so also love is pain in reverse.
Wow, I'm speechless actually. I'm actually.
But then you're making a speech.
Okay, I'm making it. I don't know what to say. This is just what we need. In summary, this is Relationship Podcast. I think this is there, but can you? There are things that I've talked down already,
okay.
But is there a way you can more like decode this? Because you were talking, the way the relationship started, it was going smoothly at the beginning.
Yeah.
At the point you said the ship was sinking.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a place that says she couldn't stand the heat, so
She's about to leave the kitchen.
I feel it is when she left that wisdom decided to visit. It's more like most relationship. We don't know what we have until we
lose it.
We use it. This happened a lot, and it also mentioned a point that I think this very aspect is talking about.
Yes. So right? Everyone has a reason why he goes into a relationship. There are some that go into a relationship because of something. Maybe they see something that they like, or maybe they are opportunists. Most times we need to ask ourselves, why are we going into the relationship? Are we in it because of what we will get out of it? Is it am I trying to get something out of it, or do I like him because of the fact that he has money?
Okay.
Or the fact that he's gifted, many times or these days it's just like some ladies just like they want to identify with fame, so they are going into the relationship because the guy is famous, or he's skilled, or he has money and all that. So they just want to, like, more like paparazzi, they want to identify with it, so they want to be or called this person's girlfriend. So they like the name, but not necessarily who he truly is. And she goes into the relationship with him because of what she can get out of it. Right? So relationships like that will not last.
After a year, sometimes even less or more, we used to be kind and generous. I think her husband is talking about if you start a relationship with a vibe,
yes,
you need to keep and continue that vibe until forever, right?
Exactly.
Or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. That's just how it is. When you go into a relationship, because I love him beyond the finance. I love him beyond the money that comes into it. I love him beyond his present state right now. I'm seeing something. I'm seeing something beyond what he is right now. I'm seeing the bigger picture. I want to build a relationship, or I want to build something bigger than what I'm seeing right now with him. So those relationships last longer, and those are even the relationship that, to an extent, not to an extent, those are the kind of relationship that we will get to marriage. And we need to understand why we are going into a relationship. It's going to last, or it's going to last longer if we're in it for the right reasons. That's why the first line says relationship always starts rosy, like it's always beautiful in the first place or in the first instance, but then as you go on, you realize that you're beginning to rethink, can I really be able to continue with this guy or this lady? Can I flow with his excesses and all that? So that's more like the poem is actually an advice. It's telling a story about two people in a relationship, and then in the end, how they are falling away and all of that. So we have to be having two matured people to make a relationship
work. Mature people in a relationship
for it to work.
That's the take home. Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Kingsley. It's very, very nice having you. This is why you need to be here. This is why you need to subscribe to our channel, and this is why you need to follow our social media handles, and this is why you need to wait and listen to our next episode. So see you in our next episode. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. Bye-bye. Just slide into our DM, comment on the topics that you want us to discuss on. Follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and follow us on our Instagram handles. Thank you.